Trump is losing his mind at Congresswoman AOC put up the post. Stupid AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is one of the dumbest people in Congress and is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that the crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her rantings, and rantings is in quotes for some reason, is all of the victories that the USA has had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, proper noun there, we will find out that she is not qualified for office, but nevertheless far more qualified than Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country, yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world, if it's even rated at all. How dare the mouse tells us how to run the United States of America. We're just now coming back from the radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamala, and the auto pen in charge. What a disaster it was. AOC should be forced to take the cognitive test that I just completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as a part of my physical. As the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she represents, and which she never goes to anymore. She better start worrying about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. Go ahead and try impeaching me again. Make my day. I can't. That is so fucking crazy. You can't even. It's just insane. That is absolutely, utterly insane. It's so childish. It's so sophomoric. He is such a whining little titty baby. You wanted the big stage, buddy, then you have to fucking sit there and put on your big boy pants after they change your diaper. Put on your big boy pants, because this is unbelievable. He came out whining about the press, and it's just like, then why are you president of the United States if you're this thin-skinned? He should have been impeached, honestly, 3 or 4 months ago.
Right.
I mean, within the first 20 days, he's already committing felonies. I'm certain of it with all that Elon Musk Doge stuff. That is completely the ramblings of a lunatic.
It's absolutely the ramblings of a lunatic. And I hate to keep pointing it out, but it was women and women of color that were the target of this rant. And he is so threatened by AOC. It's just unbelievable that people look at this and then they sit there and say, well, he's competent to discuss war plans. This is not somebody that's competent.
And it's just how inherently demeaning he is to Chuck Schumer, who I'm not the biggest Chuck Schumer girl, but he is a Jewish politician who has shown empathy for what is happening in Gaza. And showing empathy is so foreign to MAGA people. They don't understand it. Therefore, he tries to slur Chuck Schumer by calling him a Palestinian, which, for the record, I don't think it's a slur, but his intent is to do that because Chuck Schumer has shown empathy for what is happening there. And it's just amazing to me, again, the amount of people that support this man and how deeply morally flawed they are.
There's no other way around it.
Okay, next up, AOC fires back. Mr. President, don't take your anger out on me. I'm just a silly girl. Take it out on whoever convinced you to betray the American people and our Constitution by illegally bombing Iran and dragging us into war. It only took you 5 months to break almost every promise you made. Also, I'm a Bronx girl. You should know that we can eat Queens boys for breakfast, respectfully. And so, I really like her. I think she always walks the walk, talks the talk. She's so smart, and she is such a threat to MAGA. And I also think the fact that she's attractive, it makes her live even more rent free, in their heads. And she, again, these these women are always the ones that speak out. And that's why they're also getting picked on. But if you look at who has been the largest resistance right now, it's not white men.
No,
it's women.
It's absolutely women. And one thing I just have to, I'm sorry, I forgot about it originally, when he has to brag about his cognitive test.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about that.
He's bragging about his cognitive test because he
failed it.
He failed it 1,000,000%.
She should take that same one that I took. And he's brought it up multiple times, which we know he must have totally face planted on the cognitive test.
Absolutely, because the doctor said I aced it, which immediately means he failed.
100%. There's no question.
I've never heard anybody talk about a cognitive test and acing it other than
I've never heard anybody talk about a cognitive test.
Period.
That just doesn't happen, especially when you're talking about the president of the United States. He talked about it in his first term.
Right.
And now he's just gotten more deranged, and now he keeps talking about it. Okay, next up we have Trump is so excited. Put this up. He re-truths or re-lies. Fox News, Trump nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize over Iran-Israel ceasefire deal. Let me just tell you how stupid these dipshits are, right? Okay, this is how fucking stupid the people who run the United States of America are. They're like, oh, it's a ceasefire. And they all go out because every time they get on the news, they only speak for a party of one.
That's
because
right.
all of those pundits are terrified of disappointing their dear leader. So they immediately start, he should get a Nobel Peace Prize. We should put his face on Mount Rushmore, $100 bill. Unbelievable 5D chess out the wazoo. While all this is happening, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't give a fuck, and he's launching more bombs into Iran. And so then the next slide, put this up. Trump's Nobel Peace Prize nomination was withdrawn. Ukrainian politician Alexander Moresko, who nominated him, said that he has, quote, lost any sort of faith and belief in President Trump. And so it looks like Obama will still outshine Trump. So, this Nobel Peace Prize is a big thing. And because he just wants so badly to have all of the things that Obama had, and he's never going to be liked as much.
Well, here's the deal. Obama is superior to Donald Trump in every single category. Name them. Cognitive test. I'll even throw that in extra. Golf, looks, ability to speak, intelligence. Height, weight.
Yeah.
I mean, everything Donald Trump wants to be.
And I'm sorry, I'm just going to say it, probably penis size.
There's no question. It was penis.
Per Stormy Daniels,
which I did love on Twitter. I saw someone say something to the effect of the Israel-Iran peace treaty lasted as long as Donald Trump, according to Stormy Daniels. Ha, ha, ha.
And then next slide. Donald Trump Jr. is just madder than a hornet. And he says affirmative action is when Barack Obama gets the Nobel Peace Prize instead of Donald Trump. And so, this just, Pumps pointed it out, it goes straight to they're always thinking about Obama. Always thinking about Obama. Okay, you guys can support us and support our show by supporting our sponsors. I have to tell you, with everything being digitized and online and AI and all of this stuff, you've got to sign up for this app called Delete Me. It makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. The great thing about this app, you guys, is Delete Me does all of the hard work, and it wipes away your and your family's personal information and data from broker websites. Delete Me isn't just a one-time service. Delete Me is always working for you, constantly monitoring and removing your personal information you don't want on the internet. As somebody who has an active online presence, I found out that my phone number was online, and I signed up for Delete Me. They got it all removed because my privacy is so important to me, so I cannot recommend this enough. Listener, take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan by texting IHIP to 64000. The only way to get 20% off is to text IHIP to 64,000. Again, that's IHIP to 64000. Message and data rates may apply. Thank you, Delete Me, for sponsoring our show. Now back to Don Jr. jumping in the fray, the heir apparent of MAGA.
which is terrifying.
I think it's pretty interesting that he immediately went to Obama. He immediately goes to affirmative action.
Yeah.
And obviously, this is something that Trump really wants, this Nobel Peace Prize.
Here's the thing. Donald Trump and everybody around him, including his kids, are terrible, horrific, unapologetic racists. I mean, that has been proven over and over again. And so for Trump, someone, Barack Obama, that has everything he could ever want and aspires for, and he's Black, that just makes it a double knife in the heart. And I too think it's interesting. You know, those kids and everybody around Trump, assistants to golf shoes wipers, has to tell him how great he is all day, every day. They can never say anything against him because he's such a horrible bully and he's so profoundly insecure. So you know that Don Jr. got on there and tweeted that and thought, Daddy's going to love me today, because he is so needs his dad's approval, and he's never gonna get it because Donald Trump is incapable of showering anybody with any true emotion other than just, you can do something for me, do it. That's it. And I mean, part of me actually kind of feels sorry for those Trump kids because he is.
Oh, I fucking don't.
I kind of
sorry,
do.
I don't. A lot of people have broken childhoods and overcome severe abuse, sexual abuse, addiction, addict parents. A lot of people overcome a lot of stuff. And these kids, I'm sorry, they're grown adults, and I just do not feel sorry for them. I mean, every day they wake up and they choose this life. And I do not feel sorry for them. If they were like maybe 14 or 15, yeah, or younger. But I mean, Don Jr. is like 40 something.
Yeah, I think he's close to 50.
And
I just psychologically damaged from him, like from such a young age.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of people have really fucked up parents, Angie, and they come out of it and they tell their story, and they found, you know, serenity despite the trauma and the damage of it. And I just, you know, narcissists see their children as extensions of themselves. And so it's interesting because I don't think he sees any of his kids on his level.
Agree.
You know, I think he is so narcissistic. Usually narcissists script their kids' lives out for them. And it's like, here's me and here's the extension of how great I am. And it's all one linear line. With Trump, you know, he rarely talks about his kids. He only brings up Barron's height.
Right, which is weird.
That's the only thing he seems to be proud of, is that Barron is tall. And of course, we all know he used to bring up Ivanka all the time because she's attractive, and he liked that. But the two Dumb and Dumber, the kids, he doesn't seem to see them as an extension of himself.
No, he's one of the few narcissists that doesn't. I think it's because they're so disappointing to him.
Yeah, I know. I wish I could feel bad for them, but I just can't. I think about the pain and the suffering of all of these immigrants and all of the women and all of the fear and just the demise of our country. And you've got Don Jr. I mean, half the time when does his little YouTube stuff, he looks fucked up. And
well, there's all those rumors that he's jacked up on coke all the time.
And then he, you know, his wife left him, and then he was with Kimberly Guilfoyle. And I mean, they're just all psychos. I just think they're all psychos. I can't have empathy for them. I just can't. You're probably right, and a better person, but I can't.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean I don't hate him, but I just think the fact that he felt like he had to go on social media so quickly and demean Barack Obama's accomplishment and say how great his dad was in a turnaround of just a few hours, just how broken he is.
But I mean, that's just a Wednesday.
Day in the life of
that's a Wednesday, and that's going to be one of a million tweets like that. And I mean, they're broke. It's generational psychos.
Yeah,
these people are.
It is.
And I mean, didn't he bury his mom?
Yeah, at one of his golf courses for a tax write-off, and they don't even mow the grass over it.
I mean, that sounds about right.
That tracks.
All right, that's all we have for today. We'll see you later.